All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor Unchained. We have a ton to cover today, a ton of random announcements of different things, lots going on within the AI space, lots going on within the majors. So let's cover everything. We'll always start with Bitcoin here, go into some majors, couple of coins here, then we'll get into all of this news and information because I have not made a video in a little bit. Definitely got to kick it into like high gear, I think, fairly soon. So let's get into it with Bitcoin here. Been a very rough few weeks in the market though. Bitcoin has been chopping still for since mid-November. So what is that? November to December to January to February. Couple months now. What is that? 3 months basically. Still holding an uptrend here. Technically, we got higher highs, higher lows forming here, and it's going to be up to Bitcoin to see if we can crack into one more rip to the upside. I've seen absolute chaos on the timeline in the last few days, even the last week. Personally, I think most people that I've seen are claiming that an alt season, guys, is not happening. But I'm not gonna lie, I actually disagree with that wholeheartedly. And the main reason though is this coin right here, Ethereum. The main reason why we've had major alt seasons, like many have seen in previous cycles, is because Ethereum is like what led the way. Ethereum still has a lot of developers, most, are very good developers, it's had that network effect for so long. And top tier projects have still been building on Ethereum. And I think if Ethereum has a major run, we are going to see a lot of altcoins that haven't done anything this whole cycle finally wake up. And the reason why is because most of the stuff that's been happening this cycle has been either on Solana, on the degen chain, or they've just been kind of specific projects that are, in these hype narrative rotations that end up just getting all this volume and liquidity. We haven't seen Ethereum go on a major run yet. That has been the main reason. I wholeheartedly think that. And I've seen a lot of people talking about, oh, like rotate out of ETH and go into Solana and other shit. Like, I think the time to double down on Ethereum and Ethereum based coins is now. Even though I feel like nobody or not many people are buying ETH based projects, you got the government and whales consistently buying Ethereum like crazy right now. This to me is the time to double down on Ethereum and its ecosystem. I don't know why people are claiming the alt season is dead. I think while ETH is dead kind of right now, yeah, we're going to continue to see heavy rotation games because that's what it is, especially when the sentiment has been worse than literally the bear market when Bitcoin is still holding around 100K. Absolutely nuts to me that there's not much risk on, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Like, a lot of people are not trying to be risk on in the altcoin market right now. I mean, if prices just continuously dump and go down only, like, obviously, but I think until Ethereum decides to wake up and go on a like face melting run, we are going to see exactly what we've seen the whole cycle, just small narrative rotations, tiny degen pumps left and right. I firmly believe that. Because it's like I look at everyone now, everyone's complaining about all these alts, and I get it, I am too. But imagine we just saw Ethereum in a span of weeks decide to just wake up, hit over 4K. Every single person, whether on YouTube or Twitter, is going to start bull posting Ethereum and Ethereum tokens like crazy, claiming they've told you for 2 years, you know what, I've been calling this since 2022, guys. Ethereum is finally going. Like, yeah, 2 weeks ago they were telling you that alt season's never going to happen again. I'm telling you, I still firmly believe it'll happen. This thing has got to wake up. Bottom line. Let's move on. We got AVAX, SUI. So SUI has finally dipped. I think I brought this up a couple times. SUI down here was a great buy. If it does end up dipping again, I think SUI is still a pretty good contender to be the Solana of next cycle, if you would. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I felt like that since it's been out for a long time. Solana here, though, is still kind of holding up fairly well, too. No complaints, aside from everything else absolutely nuking in the market. But Solana itself is still holding up. It's still kind of holding, decent levels, I guess. As long as it holds the support, continues like this somewhat uptrend, even though this kind of trend line is kind of failing here. But as long as it continues this somewhat upwards trajectory, kind of bounces and continues like bullish momentum, I think we're going to continue to see upside. It might take a while though. We also still have meme coins continuously dead. I was going to make a post on Twitter about this. It's like some of the biggest meme coins that, 2 or 3 months ago were sitting at billions of dollars, guys, are still down in the dumps. Like Mog is at 300 something million in market cap. I think it's down 75 to 80 something percent from the highs. Yeah, about 80%. Crazy. I think this is a generational entry. I think I've said this many times in the channel. But same with Popcat. Popcat wasn't it at 2 billion? Over $2 billion. That's insane. But same thing, I'm like, these are just like, I feel like trades where you're going to take this trade betting on crypto actually going up the rest of the year, or if these levels fail on these top meme coins, basically we might not have an alt season for a long time. Kind of like a Hail Mary play. I was going to tweet something like that. Because I think Popcat is still one of the top memes on Sol, even though obviously I like Mog over Popcat any day of the week. But, you can't go wrong with that. Even Giga, I think, is very strong. I've seen a lot of, that broke really hard, actually. But also on Coinbase, Popcat is now on Coinbase as well. Even Pepe, though, too, is still holding pretty good levels. I mean, Pepe is still probably the number one meme coin for the cycle, whether people want to believe that or not. It still just has a ton of mind share. But meme coins I still love, and I think at some point they will bounce, because I still know for a fact there are a lot of people that want to just ape into coins where you don't have to think about anything. You just jump into something, a meme or a community that you like. They're not going anywhere, and especially time-tested cult coins. I firmly believe they'll have their time again. And literally cult, like I actually like this coin a lot, the My Lady Cult coin. It's kind of like how I've been bullish on Retardio on Solana. My Lady Cult coin is like the OG for Milady that's on Ethereum. And Retardio is actually a derivative of Milady's on ETH. That's why I'm actually bullish on both of these. As I still think they're some of the top communities within crypto, or top NFT communities with a token, or both now with tokens, right? That's my thesis for these. I'm not really watching too many meme coins aside from some of these majors right now. But now let's get into a lot of news, because there's still a ton of stuff to cover. Because we got OpenSea having an airdrop, guys. This is absolutely huge. If you don't know, for me, I went crazy degenning in 2021, 2022, throwing my net worth into random NFTs left and right at the time. Like ridiculous. So the fact that they're having a C token coming, they're going to be rewarding historical OpenSea usage, which means if you traded NFTs in the last bull run, or even this bull run, you will get rewarded. The thing is I haven't looked into this more than this tweet here. I don't know, what kind of allocations they're going to be giving people, things like that. I have no idea. But I assume this is probably going to be a while still before it even drops. And there will be a ton of scams that launch from this. So, I'm just bringing this up because they tweeted this, I think, today, right? So just keep this in mind, because, again, this is probably going to be a pretty good stimulus for a lot of people. But I still think, though, there are so many people that traded NFTs back then. I can't really see this being, this gigantic airdrop, for individuals. It's going to be a big airdrop, but as far as like the dollar-wise amount that every single person is going to get, I can't see it being like a, this unbelievable 5-figure, 6-figure airdrop, unless you traded like crazy volume. But, that's still pretty good that this token is finally coming. And for US users like myself, you actually can claim it. US users welcome. That's huge. And I think Seems like to me they might have been waiting for a lot of regulatory clarity or even a little bit more clarity than there has been in crypto for a while. Bottom line, that's really bullish. Another random announcement was we had Apple teases a special announcement on the 19th. Um, this was the tweet from Tim Cook. Get ready to meet the newest member of the family. The reason why I brought this up is because if this, I don't know why, I have a feeling this might actually be a robot. I could be completely wrong. If this is a robot, guys, we have a huge chance at seeing a potential chat GBT moment with physical AI, which is a narrative within AI that I personally have been very bullish on, over the last maybe 1 or 2 months here. I just think it's, for me, how I do a lot of my research is I'm looking for narratives that aren't narratives yet, but have a lot of potential to be the next narrative. And physical AI, I know for a fact, is going to be a narrative at some point. Don't really know exactly how that's going to come about, but same thing when we saw ChatGPT launch and everyone started, messing around with ChatGPT and AI just sparked out of nowhere. It could be the same thing for robots. We don't know. But that's why I'm very bullish on physical AI because you have Nvidia, some of the biggest projects, yeah, companies in the world, you know, basically telling you at some point that is going to be their focus for investment. It's physical AI. And it's only a matter of time before the degenerate speculative crypto attention market decides to kind of create some FOMO within that little, niche. But I brought that up because, like I said, if this is a robot, that'll be crazy. But again, I have no idea. It could be the new Apple mug. you know, I don't know. But if it's a new iPhone, I'm gonna be pissed. I can't lie. I feel like they have new iPhones like every 3 months. So, also in the news, Arc.fun. This has been a project I've been bullish on now for a long time. As we got Arc here, they actually just launched their project, in implementing their actual token. Meaning the reason why I was bullish on Arc, I think all the way in might have been December or maybe even January, was because I looked at them like another virtuals protocol. And this to me is showing that it's finally come to fruition, even though the launch that happened today did not go very well. I was kind of watching this a little bit, but there's some things that the team definitely could have done better, but they've now had their first launch integrating the actual ARC token as liquidity pairing. That's why I've been very bullish on it for months, and it's good to see the ecosystem, starting to form and show some sort of promise, but again, had a kind of a rough start. Um, their token was Ask J. Kind of a weird ticker, to be honest. But as you can see right here, I think they're integrating with Meteora for a lot of this stuff. So this is the chart of it. So pretty good liquidity, which is good. 25 million in market cap, has a good amount of volume on day one. It's a decentralized AI powered hedge fund. I'm not gonna cover this coin. I'm not in this. I'm not telling you guys to buy this. I just love ARC, and the fact that now they have liquidity pairing out with other tokens is huge to me. But again, we need to see them, continuously showing more promise and dropping some good projects as time goes on. But to me, that's really good, and that's very bullish for ARC token itself, even though it's kind of down today. But oh, this was kind of funny too. If you guys saw this live stream, I'm not gonna cover it, but I didn't even know why I had that up. Also, too, is Virtuals is now on Sol. This happened a couple days ago now. But what I've seen is 99% have been complete rugs, complete scams, aside from maybe a couple coins. I've not even bothered to talk about it, really look into it. In our Discord, I spent about a couple days looking into it on day 1 and 2. But like I mentioned also in the Discord, it was just all scams. Like literally nothing that is interests me, nothing where I want to, throw a good chunk of money at, take a gamble on. It's like they're all just blatant LARPs or scams right now. I'm still very bullish on virtuals though. Price has not held up well whatsoever though, which has been tough, but This is when I made, I was talking about virtuals months ago, guys, on the channel. It was something I was saying. Like, I knew all the way back here, this was getting way too overextended and it needed a correction. But once it finally corrects, this is when it's very hard to know when a dip will stop dipping because we've bought the dip and it has kept dipping. But this is like an ecosystem that I'm still very bullish on. I'm still in. Um, but virtual itself, definitely just needed a huge cool off aside from, the entire market kind of cooling off too. So now dTAO, we got dynamic tau, which is something I've been bullish on for weeks, has finally launched today, and I've been watching this all day. But the thing is I actually have not been jumping into anything. So if you guys are not familiar, I was actually gonna make a couple videos on YouTube talking about it. But the thing is we've seen a lot of ecosystems, especially for me, I like to try and cover ecosystems early, try to learn about them beforehand, show you guys on YouTube. But it's like from, BRC20s to runes to AI agents. It's like a lot of times, yes, I can cover stuff early, but at the end of the day, sometimes these ecosystems, things like this, they don't play out like, how you'd expect. Everyone wants to jump in day one, catch 10 500Xs, you know what I mean? But 95% of the time, it just doesn't happen. So I kind of just didn't want to cover that fully. I'd rather let this launch than start covering it more so you guys can see charts, you can look at projects, and actually understand kind of what's going on. But so bottom line, what this is now Bittensor as dynamic tau. They've upgraded their tokenomics, so now each subnet within Bittensor you can actually stake your Bittensor to and earn the subnet token in return. Because initially before you'd stake to a validator to actually get Bittensor token at a fixed rate of I don't know what the rate was, but now you can actually stake and potentially, if you want to, take a risk on different subnets, and each subnet is basically an AI project. But the thing is I'm actually very, very bullish on this, more so in the long term. I knew that this wasn't going to be some, crazy pump and dump type ecosystem. It wasn't going to be like day one, everyone can just buy and sell FOMO into projects left and right. The thing is with this ecosystem, at least right off launch, liquidity is very low on a lot of these. And to actually jump into them, you really can't just buy and sell them like on a DEX. You need to have Bittensor in a Bittensor wallet, and you have to legit stake to one of these subnets to actually earn the token. But the thing is the reason why I'm very bullish on this is because, bottom line, every subnet owner, validator, and miner, they're going to be earning income basically every day, every month off of their subnet. So there's a lot of incentives for these projects that have been building as a subnet, to continue to build. So for me, looking at Bittensor in its subnet ecosystem, to me it seems like these are going to be some of the top AI projects going forward in the future. I feel like subnets within Bittensor are going to be a staple of a very good time-tested project in the future. I think, in a few months, maybe even potentially next bull run, who knows? We'll probably see if Bittensor does survive, which I have a great feeling it will. I think subnets are going to be a very clear sign of trust. And I don't even know what the word is. Basically, I think projects are going to want to either buy a subnet or get a hold of a subnet to show the community how dedicated that they are to AI. And I feel like projects that are subnets and continue to stay subnets, they're almost like the next level of AI projects within crypto. That is how I'm kind of looking at these right now, because from what I know, most of these are not scams. They have been projects that have been building for a long time, and there's a lot of really good stuff here. I don't want to cover too many, or if anything specifically in this video, but there's 64 main subnets here, and most of them are doing very good things. It's actually incredible to see that Bittensor has actually carved out an ecosystem of bringing real projects with real value that have been killing it with development. I'm just very bullish on it overall. I think some of these to be jumping into potentially day one. It's gonna be risky. Again, that's why I didn't want to cover this like just all in and telling people, yo, like jump into these subnets. No one knows how it's gonna perform, especially when it's not gonna be, something like a virtuals where you just buy the token and then you can just like live trade it and research it and then degen on a brand new launch. Like it's not like that. You actually got to stake into these to earn the token, and then you can't just swap them out. Once you swap, you either swap your Bittensor for, they call it the alpha token, meaning any subnet token. You swap Bittensor for the alpha token, by staking it, or you unstake it. That's really all that you can do from what, my experience looking at it today, and obviously over the last week or two, couple weeks here. But overall, very interesting eco. I do want to dive deeper into the subnets because I'm looking at these as some of the top future AI projects, And a lot of these projects, though, again, these are basically tokens within Bittensor eco. A lot of these subnets actually have tokens outside of their dynamic TAO token. A lot of projects basically have two different tokens now. A good example is something like Vector Chat AI, which is a coin, I've personally been in for, I don't know how many months now, like 5, 6 months, just holding. It's got a token on Ethereum, but now it's also got a token related to its subnet. So it almost has two different tokens, and I'm focusing personally on a lot of projects here that their only token is their dynamic TAO token. But it just very interesting eco has popped up. So this is why I've been very bullish and watching this consistently over the last, few weeks here, just learning about pretty much all of these a little bit. So it's been very interesting though, nonetheless. But outside of that, guys, if you really want to start messing around, this is the site I'd recommend. It's called dTAO Stats. This one is one of my favorites. There's also dTAO Market Cap, which is another one. But dTAOstats.io. And it'll take you right to this. You can look into subnets, you can look into validators. The Bittensor ecosystem, though, I'm not going to lie, is one of the most complex ecosystems I've ever dove into. Like I don't even blame anyone if it takes you a week to just understand and get just a simple concept of how it works. But I also think that, if they can somewhat ease up the learning curve and the way that you can actually invest into this stuff, this will definitely take off way further, because I actually expected a lot more volume and, attention within Bittensor, especially today. But like I said, I think a lot of the learning curve and stuff like that has been a big reason why, like I said, I would have seen, I can't even talk today. One of the reasons why I thought we'd see more volume and traction here, but nonetheless, day one, still a big thing for the overall ecosystem. So I'm very bullish on it, and we'll see what it does, over the next few days, maybe a week or two. But with that said, that is kind of what I wanted to cover in this video today. Because like I said, we got a lot of different stuff happening every day in crypto. I swear, it's like you miss like a day, 2 days in crypto, you basically missed 2 or 3 weeks. And some of the stuff I didn't even cover is, we had BNB and AVAX season. A ton of memes have been blowing up the last week or couple weeks here on those. Personally, I'm not going to be bridging to BNB nor AVAX just to buy some shit coins that are probably going to go to zero within, maybe 3 days. Biggest thing for me is when sentiment is so bad, pumps will not last. I don't care what it is. I don't care how bullish it is. Most pumps will not last. Unless Bitcoin just has an insane week and just decides to rip like this, then no matter what was pumping before is probably going to make a new all-time high. Again, not every project, but if something is hype in the moment, the hype will continue if the market has really good days. But right now, it's like, we're kind of just waiting right now, like I said, for ETH at the beginning of the video. Outside of that, though, that is what I wanted to cover in this video, guys. I appreciate you all watching. And shout out to everyone for, the channel hitting 5,000 subs. Or I think right around it right now. I appreciate everyone who's been watching me over the past year and a half. It's been a long grind. It's been fun, and we're gonna keep going, continuing to make a killing in the market, even though it has been nuking like crazy the last few weeks. I still have high hopes for 2025. And like I said, I still think we got some sort of alt season coming this year. The people that are claiming it's not going to happen anymore are, just I think they're very much so underestimating Ethereum. It's like if Ethereum did this, what do you think the timeline? What do you think everyone is going to be thinking? Oh my god, altcoin season is happening. So it's literally just wait for this to happen for ETH. Everyone that said all that stuff is going to completely flip their mindset again. That's my thesis. I know for a fact that'll happen. So outside of that, that's why I'm continuing to stack coins like MOG, literally the number one meme coin on ETH. Things like even Bittensor, Virtual, some really good ecosystems. Yes, they're down pretty hard, but especially something like Bittensor, guys, it's multi-billion-dollar coin. There's no way, as long as crypto survives 2025, there's no way a coin like this doesn't make another all-time high. I know for a fact. Even to see ETH at like 4 or 5K at a minimum, I don't know why I wouldn't. You know what I mean? So outside of that, guys, that's what I've been paying attention to. And yeah, I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.